Oh my, so where have we left off since I seen you guys last? We went to spring break. Kids had a great time at spring break. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I got my suntan and I'm peeling like that. And they say we don't peel. But spring break there in Florida, we split our team up, and then we had another group go to Stanford, and lots of good stuff there from the group in Stanford. Of course, Edward Cheswick getting his qualifier in the 10K, and then probably the surprise of the weekend is Sam Nadal getting a 15-second PR there in the 5K. So we're really impressed with her in that. And then of course some of those guys got their 1500 meter qualifier as well. And then of course on the other side of the pond there, we went to the Florida Relays, and of course we've never been to that meet before, and it was really fun. Coach Holloway does a great job putting on that meet, and it's one of the big relays for that weekend, and we just so happens to be coincide with our spring break. So him and I have been talking about getting together for a while, and so what you'll see in the result of us going to Florida Relays is for the Gators coming here to one of our home meets whenever we open our stadium back up. So kind of a home and home deal for us to go there. And then of course while we were there, wow, distance runner, not our distance runners, but our jav throwers, who of course didn't get to be indoors, got a chance to get off and get some qualifiers in Isaacs and Cole, Cole Walsh there almost jumped 18 feet in the pole vault. The other javelin thrower there is Cody Daniels. So those guys got a chance to compete there, and then of course to come away with the #2 qualifier, or #2 time in our school history on the men's 4x1 was a really surprise. Those guys did a good job, and of course those relays haven't really had a lot of time to practice. We're just coming off an indoor season, and then of course go right into exams. So their handoff and their practicing has been limited at best. So for the men to get the #2 time there in school history, and then of course you guys probably all want to hear about the women there and breaking the collegiate record in the 4x1, and then of course the 4x2. Is a true testament to what Coach Taylor is doing with those girls. And then of course for that third relay to come away with a world lead there in the 4x4. Lots of good stuff there out of Florida, and so we were excited to be back, excited to get some training on our belt. And then of course moving forward this weekend, as in tomorrow, we leave to go to Mount Sac, and that'll be a fun meet for us to go down there. Traditionally one of the ones that we've always went to, except for the thing that's different here is usually we go with about 8 to 12 kids. This year I think we're taking a little over 50 down there, and of course we're going to be spread out over 3 meets. Some kids into Mount Sac, some kids into Bryan Clay, some kids into Long Beach. So those 3 meets will be the 3 meets that we'll be competing at while we're down there in the LA area, which is going to be a logistical nightmare for our operations people, but somehow they'll figure it out, and we'll go and give it our best shot and see if we can come back and talk about more good things for the Ducks.
Are you guys all staying together when you're down there?
We are.
So it's just a matter of getting the right people to the right place?
Yeah, if you were in our staff meeting, you would have heard 2 buses, 2 15-passenger vans, and 5 cars. So somehow we'll all make it work.
And running those relay times, the women's times in Florida, was that a little too fast, too early, or was it just, hey, get outside your warm weather, good competition, and go for it? What was that?
I think it's all of the above. We have a special group of ladies there in that group, and they demonstrated that prowess indoors, and you're kind of seeing some of the fruits of that labor outdoors. But the competition was good. I want to say the teams that were there are probably all ranked in the top 5 in the country in that same race that we competed in. I think it's pretty much par for the course for us. I think we opened up last year at Mount Sac, and we ran a school record there last year. So this is kind of the way we do business, par for the course for us as far as opening up those weekends, and we'll see how we progress this weekend.
But nice momentum going forward from those relays?
Yeah, it's always a good momentum. Those, like I said, can't say enough about those girls. They're doing a fantastic job, and the momentum that we've built didn't just start this past weekend. It kind of started way back in the fall when the cross-country team doing what they did there, and I can remember the girls sitting down and all having maybe not a kumbaya, but a talk about what this year could be, and they're just living that out as we speak.
Coming off of so much good, any specific events you're keeping your eye on this weekend?
Yeah, we get to open up our individual events. So we're still going to run the relays, but a lot of kids will get to open up in their individual events. Like those girls will open up in the 100 and 200. We have some really good kids there in the quarter that are going to open up in that. You're going to see some of those guys run, I want to say it's at the Azusa meet or the Brian Clay meet, which is the same meet, open up in the 15 there. Edwards is going to run the 15 there. Katie Rainsberg is going to run the 1500 at Mount Sac. So we're kind of all over the place. So the individual events will be the ones that we'll kind of keep our eyes on.
Does anything that group of girls do surprise you anymore when they pull off another fantastic feat?
Yeah, there's still a few things there, that tricks under their hat that they have. We do a lot of those things we do in practice, so kind of what we see there in meets isn't so much of a surprise because we train pretty hard here at practice. We had a good practice yesterday, and some of the things there that happened was kind of phenomenal as well. So it's just wait and see if we can do it under the bigger lights when they got a clock out there.
Well, when you have the competition, isn't that a key? Because that your 4x2, you got second, but the team ahead of them was a world-class relay team.
Yeah, there was some studs there. Shippers, I want to say from the Netherlands, kind of ran us down there in the end. And of course, as thrilled and excited as we were to run the collegiate record, we're probably more disappointed not to get the W. Those are always important. And of course, when we go back and look at the film, there was one or two handoffs there that we could have done a little better. And then probably from a coaching standpoint, maybe we should have switched up the order there just a little bit. But it was fun for us. You know, we don't run the 4x2 that often, and it's not an NCAA event, so all of those type of relays is just fun for us.
Does it feel like the stakes of each of these meets with the SAC and then the Twilight coming up and the pre, does it feel like all of these meets just keep building and building and building leading up to outdoor nationals?
Yeah, and that's kind of, it's funny you say that, that's kind of how we use them as far as getting us ready for the national meet and for, of course, the meat grinder of a meet in the Pac-12 championships, of course, which we host this year. So those are good preparations, good experiences for us kids to kind of experience that heat, kind of experience that fire, kind of experience the adversity that comes along with some of those situations, and to be able to do that against some of the pros there is definitely helpful with us moving forward.
So what do you say to the team? Like how do you sort of put that emphasis into words for them?
Yeah, just do what you do in practice. That's kind of always one of our things. Just because there's a bunch of people sitting in the stands or the camera and the lights there, it shouldn't change. You've done this thing probably 1,000 times in practice, and don't make it bigger than it is. Just go out there and execute the way you do every day.
Noticed you had a football practice last week. What have you seen? Obviously a new regime, but from coach to coach, what have you seen out of Willie Taggart? Have you noticed anything that stands out?
Man,
the way he coaches?
I love the way that he's so personal. I just happened to be bored and watching one of the little interviews that he was doing there, kind of sort of like this, and the way he's engaging and the way he handles himself there. And then even more impressive to see him around the kids. Because that's kind of what it's all about. That's kind of what most of us do this for, is to improve the lives and give kids an opportunity. And to see him there slapping backs and slapping behinds and helmets and all that thing is definitely a good thing. And so that's kind of what I noticed when I was out there for my brief 10 minutes or so.
Trying to bring some of that juice over to the track.
Yeah, that's a Willie T's thing there. Some juice or do something. I think we're just tougher together, and we'll continue to embody that one.
Hey, was Blake involved in that collision with the official last week?
He was. After that, Blake had to go to the hospital, get an x-ray to see if he kind of, I think what it turned out is kind of dislocated his shoulder a little bit. So he's scrapes, bumps, and bruises that usually come with the road rash of racing and falling like that on the track. But he's fine, and he'll compete this weekend.
Throughout the indoor season, Hannah and Deja and Ariana all mentioned their desire to get a 4x1 title. What do you think there are their chances of getting that after setting that collegiate record?
Ooh, good question. Kind of been snake bitten with that relay a little bit. I don't think that's one of the events that we've ever won here. And I say that because we went into last year with the fastest 4x1 collegiate time And then, of course, we had some adversity of our own that didn't allow us to run the team that ran earlier in the year. So it's one of those things that we feel like it's unfinished business, or Ariana and those guys probably feel like it's unfinished business. And so I can kind of see their motivation with that one.
Can you say, at this point, you have Sasha Wallace, who stepped in last year, led off the team, got third, and now you have Dunmore, who led off the 4x1, the collegiate record team. So is it, just a matter of each meet, fit a piece in and see how it fits, or, how do you plan that out if you do?
Yeah, I guess I should be remiss if I don't mention that B team that ran there in Florida, that ran almost 44 flat. I want to say they ran 44.30, which is probably a top 10 time there in the country as well, and that's with 4 different ladies. So you can kind of see the alternates and the pieces that go along with that. And of course, Sasha Wallace, Alasia Johnson, and Alexis Guster, and Ashante Horsley comprise that team. So we definitely have some pieces if something is to kind of go awry, and we're blessed to have those quarter milers come down and run on the short relay, which is kind of think is a good luxury to have.
Well, I think isn't that a key with the sprinters, is that they can go in relays?
Absolutely, and you can kind of see how our team is built. You have those 1-2 girls, and then you have those quarter milers, and then they can run a whole gamut of events. Alasia went out there and ran the collegiate, maybe not the collegiate leading time, but one of the faster times, number 2, in 12:69 in the hurdles there, which was a huge PR for her, and of course our new school record there in the 100-meter hurdles. So good to have movable parts. We practice some of those moving parts. One of the reasons why we run that B team is for them to have that experience, so it would be a seamless transition for them to go onto that A relay team, and so fortunate for sure.
And success breeds success. Sasha will no doubt be motivated by Alicia's time.
Absolutely, success breeds success, or iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thanks,
guys.
Robert.